Welcome to the video on the measures of center of data. In the previous sets of videos, we talked about the measures of location, which would be the median and the percentile ranks. In this video and in this module topic, we're going to talk about the measures of center. The measures of center are typically called the mean, median, and mode. In order to find the sample mean, we are going to find the sum of all the data values and divide it by the total number of sample values. And there's some formulas here that we can look at, but we're not going to spend too much time on this. The first and foremost is that we are looking for x bar. X bar is the sample mean. We can find the sample mean by finding the sum of the x values dividing by n. I'll get into that into more detail in a minute. Example 3.6 says the miles per gallon rating for 30 randomly selected cars are shown below. They've already been arranged from lowest to highest. Calculate the mean and the median. Well, in order for us to calculate the mean, we have to find the average, or the sum of all of the x values. In order to find the sum of all the x values, we would add up all of them values, and we would get a sum of 920. I've already done the calculation, so I am going to just say that the sum of all of these is 920. There is a symbol here which represents the sum of all of the x values. The sum of x, sigma of x, is 920. In order for us to calculate the sample mean, x bar, we are going to do 920 and divide it by the sample size. In this case, the sample size, lowercase n, is the number 30, so we do 920 divided by 30. And if we do this calculation in a calculator, we will get 30.6 repeated. So x bar is 30.6 repeated, or 30.7. Again, x bar. This is the sample mean. Now to find the median, we are going to find the middle value. As we saw in a previous example, the middle value of an even set of numbers is not one specific value. It would be the average of two middle numbers. So if we have 30 values, we're looking for the value between the 15th and the 16th value. So let's just try and find that quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the 15th value. This would be the 16th value. If we cross off all of these numbers, that will mean that we've crossed off 14 values that are less than, and we've crossed off the same number of values greater than. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that means that the median, which does not have a specific symbol, we just write the word median. The median would be the average, or the mean, of 31 and 32. To find that, we will add 31 plus 32 and then divide it by 2, and we will get that the median is 30.5. So the sample mean, x bar, is 30.6. We will add up the data values and divide by the total number. The median, the middle value, is 31.5, again looking for the middle number. Now there are videos that show how to find the mean and the median using the one variable statistics feature of each of the calculators that are approved for this course. So feel free to watch those videos to find the way to do this with technology. The population mean is different than the sample mean. The calculation is still the same. We're still going to find the sum of all the x values, but now we're going to divide by the population size. Not that big of a difference in the calculation. Oops. But there is a different symbol. I would suggest that you take note of these two different symbols. When we are dealing with samples and populations, we are dealing with two different sets of calculations, and those values actually will could potentially change the outcomes of our results for future lessons. I'm not worried about those for today's lesson, but just so you know. The third measure of center, or the third measure of central tendency, is called the mode. The mode is the data value which occurs the most frequently, or the most often. A dataset may not have a mode or may have more than one mode. This next example here, it says 65 randomly selected car salespersons, sorry about that, were asked the number of cars they generally sell in 1 week. 14 people answered that they generally sell 3 cars, 19 generally sell 4 cars, 12 generally sell 5 cars, 9 generally sell 6 cars, 11 generally sell 7 cars. Calculate the mean, median, and mode for the sample. So again, mean, median, and mode are the measures of central tendency, or measures of center. In order to calculate them for this example, we're going to have to do a little bit of work. In this example, we're told that 14 people answered that they generally sell 3 cars. So if our data value, or our variable is number of cars sold, and we know this because we would, in order for us to answer the question, we would have to walk up to a car salesperson in the sample and ask them, how many cars did you sell in 1 week? So that would be our variable. We could list these all out. We would have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 14 times. Then we would have 19 generally sell 4 cars. So again, we're asking the question, how many cars do you sell in a week? They answer 4, 4, 4. 19 people answered them. 12 generally sell 5 cars per week. So again, number of cars sold is the variable. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. There are 12 people that say they sell 5, and 9 people generally sell 6 cars. Again, 6 is the variable. How many cars do you sell? So this would be 9 of them. And then 11 people sell 7 cars. So we're going to put 7 here. 11 times. So there's a lot going on with this question. We could, since we're talking about 65 randomly selected car salespeople, we could grab our calculator and enter all 65 of these data values. However, and there's a video that shows that. However, for this video where I'm not trying to focus on the calculators specifically, we can do the calculations a little bit differently. We can find the sum of the x values. To find the sample mean, since we're talking about randomly selected, we know it's a sample. We could find the sample mean by trying to find the sum of the x values, meaning that we add them all up and divide by the sample size. Well, we know that there are 65 people in the sample. In order for us to find the sum of the x values, what we could do 14 people times 3 cars each, which would be a total of 32. We could do 19 people that sold 4 cars each, which would be a total of 76. We could do 12 people that sold 5 cars each, which would be a total of 60. We could do 9 people that sold 6 cars each, which would be a total of 54. And 11 people that sold 7 cars, which would be a total of 77 cars sold. If we find the sum of all of these, 32 plus 76 plus 60 plus 54 plus 77 will give us a total of 6 and 4 is 10, and 9, 19, carry the 1, 3 and 7 is 10, plus the 1 down here would be 7, so 17. 22, 29, so 299 cars sold is the total number of cars sold, sum of all the x values, divided by 65. I'm not sure what that is offhand, so let me grab my calculator. Doing this off screen, 299 divided by 5 is 59. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. 299 divided by 65 is what I wanted to do. The sample mean x bar would be 4.6. Now, in order for us to find the median, we are again looking for the middle number. So the middle number for 65 data values is between 65 divided by 2 would be 32.5. So it's between the 32nd and 33rd data value. So if we look, here are the first 14 data values in order. Here are the next 19 data values in order. 14 plus 19 is 33. And then 12 and 9 is 21. Plus 11 is 32. So the median will be at the end of this list of 19 people that sold 4 cars. So the median will be 4. And the last thing we need to calculate is the mode. The mode is, again, the value that occurs the most often. In this case, the value that occurs the most often has the highest frequency of 19, so our answer will be 4. So we found the mean, the median, and the mode for this example without using a calculator. If you want to watch the video that shows how to use the calculator, you're welcome to do that. That is available.